The Right Side with Doug Billings.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. Doug Billings here. The right side is now upon you. Are you ready? Well, let's kick it off and start talking about some straight talk here. No fear, no fluff, just the unfiltered conservative truth that you don't find anywhere else. That's just the truth. That's the way it is. Today, I want to bury the entire World War III nonsense. We've got to bury this thing once and for all. Ladies and gentlemen, there are some amplified voices out there that want you scared because it drives the algorithm, drives clicks, drives revenue. People that are talking unrestricted global war, famine, spiritual collapse, endless conflict, yada, yada, yada. Ladies and gentlemen, the World War III nonsense is manufactured clickbait, and it's designed to spike views and sell despair. It really is, but here's the real story. President Trump is not leading us into doom, ladies and gentlemen. Evidence of the obvious is sufficient if you just look around. If you take a minute to look behind the headlines and between the lines of every story that's out there. By the way, subscribe over on YouTube at The Right Side Doug Billings. YouTube. At The Right Side, Doug Billings. There's about 156,000 people over there waiting for you to subscribe on my channel. But no, President Trump is not delivering doom and gloom. In fact, he's delivering decisive victories abroad and here at home. Historic. The winning is so phenomenal that I think sometimes that old prediction of his, hey, you're going to get so sick and tired of winning that you're going to get bored with it. So because they're bored, these tier one influencers are looking for new avenues to get clicks, ratings, analytics, and revenue. Credibility be damned. We're not in World War III. Wow. We're living exactly in what Trump said he was going to deliver to us, the America Golden Age. And the numbers and the victories prove it. Again, look behind the headlines and in between the lines of every story that you read and every post that you look at. Stephen Miller today was out in front of a packed crowd in Memphis, and he pummeled the fake news right in front of them, right to their faces. And he said, if we had an honest media, those statistics that I gave you, this is Stephen Miller's quote, those statistics that I gave you would be on the news 24/7 if we had an honest media. And then he dropped the receipts that should be headlines every single day. Here's what he said. Think about this. Under President Trump, we've got the largest reduction of murders in American history, in crime, in drug overdose death, in fentanyl, in illegal migration. In 1 year, all of that has been accomplished. You got to let that sink in, ladies and gentlemen. In just 1 year, underneath President Trump, murders are down more than at any time recorded in United States history. Overall crime is plummeting. Overdose deaths, especially from fentanyl, are slashed now dramatically. Illegal migration is at zero. I mean, if the media were honest, this would be wall-to-wall coverage. And if the talking heads online were honest, they would say this. And instead, they bury it because good news under President Trump destroys their narrative. And it destroys the I want to be in the cool club new bandwagon where we've got to bash Trump. We've got to say MAGA is dead, blah, blah, blah. This is the golden age proof right here at home. Now, while the doomers are out there screaming about global catastrophe, President Trump is making America safer, healthier, stronger than we've been in decades. Oh, but he got dragged into the situation in Israel, and this is really Israel's war, Doug. So how many of you out there really think that President Trump gets dragged into anything? Give me a break. And what we're doing in Iran is the very definition of America first, because what's going on over there affects us here. Families in Kansas City are sleeping better. Missouri farmers, Ohio ranchers, Montana cattlemen. Parents aren't terrified of the next overdose headline. That's not, wartime despair, ladies and gentlemen. That's called victory. And so then we connect the dots. The same voices who are pushing, we're in World War III, they ignore those domestic miracles that I just listed because they don't fit the panic narrative. Look at the facts on the ground today. Trump issued a clear ultimatum on the Strait of Hormuz: reopen it or face consequences. And the regime over there in Iran blinked. And so today he announced that they've got very good and productive conversations going. They're in-depth, they're detailed, and they're constructive with Iran. Strikes on the power grids are postponed now for 5 days. And envoys like Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner are at the table again with the mullahs. The markets are absolutely cheering all of this. Oil prices dropped. Stocks are rising. And it comes right after Operation Epic Fury degraded nearly 90% of Iran's missile arsenal. Their long-range missiles and their lies about them were exposed, weren't they? Over the weekend, when they fired toward Diego Garcia, a 4,000-kilometer threat that they swore they didn't have. Trump was proven right again. And lest we forget, by the way, don't forget, back in February during the State of the Union address, Trump told us that they were developing those missiles. So the imminent threat is real. And it's being neutralized now through strength. It's not being neutralized through a quagmire or an endless war, ladies and gentlemen. Don't buy the kook nonsense. Dan Bongino put it perfectly the other day. We've got enemies to the right of us. And he called out the small but very loud chorus who keep amplifying division and doomerism. Even as President Trump racks up win after win after win, these people continue on with this nonsense. So these enemies to the right aren't mainstream conservatism, ladies and gentlemen. They're a fringe minority pushing panic while ignoring the golden age statistics that Stephen Miller laid out today when he and the president and others were in Memphis. Real conservatives see the truth, and that's what gives me confidence and hope. We see the truth. The MAGA base is at about a 97%, if not 100% approval rating of Trump. So people who are out there claiming MAGA is dead don't know what the hell they're talking about. They're chasing clicks. They've had their feelings hurt in some way, perhaps. I don't know. Mrs. Boleyn, formerly on the Trump Religious Advisory Council, kicked off because apparently she was acting kind of a kook. They get their feelings hurt and they mouth off. Trump is containing the threats. He's forcing diplomacy on our terms, and he's delivering historic domestic improvements at the same time. He's multitasking. This is not World War III. What we're seeing is leadership that only Trump can deliver. Has nothing to do with being a cheerleader for Trump or being a bootlicker. This is a person who's able to see the truth, the facts, and analyze it and tell you about it. And there's millions of us out there. You're among us. You get it. You see it. And we compare all of that to Europe. What about Europe and their self-inflicted mess they've got going on? You ever follow Victor David Hansen? Well, you should, because he calls it out. And he named what's going on over there in Europe European schizophrenia. I love it. Open borders, green energy suicide, disarmament fantasies, demographic collapse. Before I left corporate America 6 years ago to start this program, I saw what he's talking about. I would have to travel to Germany, to the UK, and other countries for business. And although I grant you now it's through the lens of hindsight that I can tell you, they have a huge problem with illegal immigrants over there and a huge problem with unfettered Muslim immigration. And those populations are not assimilating into the cultures and the society of those European countries. Germany, Italy, Spain, France, they hardly have any national identity left precisely because of that problem. Immigration that doesn't assimilate. And Europe would dare to lecture the world about these kinds of things, but they leave Trump to secure the Strait of Hormuz and stabilize energy for the world. So while they in Europe weaken themselves, Trump makes America energy independent and secure. And at home, the Democrat Party, actually, the Democrat Party doesn't exist. We all know. The communist socialists are now in control of that party. They're still trying to sabotage the entire Trump administration. They threaten everything, shutdowns over ICE funding, while Trump delivers lower crime, less fentanyl, and secure borders. But it only proves the contrast. On one side, you've got Trump delivering results. The other side in Congress, with the communist socialist, formerly known as Democrat Party, you've got people delivering drama, and that's it. And the American people see it. Now, the exciting, forward-looking part about all of this is the real golden age payoff. So these foreign wins that Trump is earning for us are accelerating the collapse of the Iranian regime. And imagine, ladies and gentlemen, just imagine a liberated Iran. 90 million free people is on the horizon over there. No more morality police. No more terror funding. No more hanging 19-year-old former Olympic wrestling champions. No more lies about missile ranges. And when that happens, the old lie that Israel is the enemy of the region dies forever, folks. A free Iran is going to stand shoulder to shoulder with Israel. New energy corridors from Asia to Europe are going to open up. Trade routes will slash costs. Tech and agriculture partnerships that solve real problems in the world, and medical advancements. So Trump's foresight made all of this possible. He warned about the missiles years ago, way before he became president. And when he did get elected as our president, he acted decisively, and he forced the regime to negotiate the art of the deal. And the benefits flow straight back to you, folks. I'm telling you, cheaper, stable energy for heartland farmers and families on the horizon and just around the corner. Secure supply chains. No famine scares anywhere in the world. Job-creating exports are going to boom. Fewer threats abroad so we can focus on America first at home. And by the way, speaking of America first at home, everything that we're doing in Iran is America first. That affects our homeland and that affects us. This is the golden age in action. Trump told us about it. Evidence of the obvious is sufficient. Domestic crime and overdose numbers are plummeting. Foreign threats neutralized. Alliance realigning for prosperity, absolutely. Trump delivers the results that the doomers swore were impossible. Murders and crime at historic lows. Fentanyl and overdose deaths are slashed. Illegal migration is reversed to zero, and energy security is restored. And our alliances are now expanding. They're coming to help. So this is not wartime panic. This is Trump building the strongest, safest, most prosperous America in our lifetime. Anyone with any shred of intellectual maturity sees this. The World War III narrative is dead on arrival. Wow. They should be embarrassed who are saying this. The receipts are in. Stephen Miller just proved we're winning at home like never before. Trump is winning abroad with strength and smart diplomacy, which also equals a win for us here at home. And Dan Bongino is right. The real enemies to the right are the ones still trying to sell fear while the golden age unfolds all around us. Folks, we're not in decline. We're not in an endless war. We are in America's golden age, and it's only getting brighter. Evidence of the obvious, again, is sufficient. So give yourselves permission to believe this. Don't buy into the kook new cool club that says you got to get on our bandwagon and you got to tell everybody MAGA's dead. That's the new return on investment for the kook fringe. Well, we're not part of that. We're in reality. And ladies and gentlemen, because you listen to this program, you become members of the most intellectually mature audience in all of Radioland. I'm Doug Billings. This is The Right Side. Trump is delivering. America is winning. The golden age is here. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's free. Just go over there to YouTube and search at The Right Side Doug Billings. The symbol at The Right Side Doug Billings. And you can support the show, please. $5 a month over at dougbillings.us. Keep strong, America. Keep the faith. Share this video. Share it far and wide. God bless the United States of America. We're in this thing together, folks. Believe it. For the Republic. Cheers.
The Right Side with Doug Billings.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the set of my show, Doug Billings. Hey, my good friends at EMP Shield, that's electromagnetic pulse, in case you're from Raytown, Missouri. Electromagnetic pulse could wipe out your home electrical system, could wipe out your vehicle. And thanks to the radical liberal agenda that was put forth under Administrator Biden and Vice Pretender Harris, there are lots of people in this country who want to do us harm. And maybe an EMP device would be their chosen weapon. But EMP Shield gives you a device that can protect you. This little baby here goes on your home outlets, a computer, a router, whatever you want to protect. And then they also have a larger model like this. You can still hold it in the palm of your hand that goes on your vehicle battery so that you can get out of trouble from point A to point B. EMPshield.com. Promo code Doug, ladies and gentlemen. Save yourself. Save your property. EMPshield.com. Promo code Doug. We're in this together, folks. Believe it. For the Republic. Cheers.
The Right Side with Doug Billings.